Hello, my dear beloved children. Today we will continue to talk about the prerequisites for the unification of humanity. In fact, there are many more of them than it seems. And one of them is the traditional attitude towards family and marriage. As you can see, despite the aggressive transgender propaganda, which has been reflected even in the legislation of some countries, people are actively resisting it. Especially monstrous is the abuse of children, who from a young age are taught to the idea that at any time at the slightest whim have the right to change the sex given to them from birth. And hundreds of thousands of children have already suffered from such state policies in some countries. Fortunately, most people are still not inclined to such disgusting experiments and condemn the actions of their governments. And the more such people there are, the sooner they will achieve the abolition of these absurd and unnatural laws for man, which, despite the beautiful words about freedom of expression, actually pandun to the perversions of all kinds, and ultimately lead to the degeneration of humanity. Much here also depends on the leaders of individual countries, on their own worldview and value system, but most of them are completely dependent on globalists, and they are not independent in their actions. As you already know, the Draco Reptilia managed to place their puppets in almost all key positions in the largest developed countries, as well as in the European Parliament, which is the legislative body of a united Europe. As a result, they not only actively promote gender policy in dozens of European countries, but also present it as one of the criteria for compliance with democratic principles in these countries. Until a few years ago, people could not even imagine that democracy would be able to take such perverse forms that contradict traditional and natural human values. And this new normality could only be invented and implemented by beings deprived of the divine soul, hating and despising everything pure, bright, beautiful what originally lay in the relationship between a man and a woman. Such creatures are Draco Reptilia, as well as their puppets in power, most of which are reptilians and clones. The fact that they manage to so successfully implement their program is also largely due to the fact that all the media are still in the hands of the deep state. Everything that somehow affects people's consciousness has been bought by them for a long time, and first of all television, newspapers and magazines, advertising, show business and film industry. It is they who are used to promote all kinds of perversions, as a result of which society in many countries of the world has already reached such a degree of blasphemy and moral degradation that people began to awaken en masse to stop this terrible flywheel of the destruction of humanity. And this protest movement of people defending traditional human values can unite many countries and peoples, which will begin to happen in the near future. We will stop there today. The Father Absolute, who loved you immeasurably, spoke to you.